Hello everybody, welcome to TTTV. This is TTL F1 and this is round number 17, I do believe. If I'm not mistaken, it is round 17. No, it's round 18. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Is it round 17? Was it round 18? I have lost the plot completely. I have no idea. Uh, yes, it's round 17, isn't it? Yeah. Should be. Yeah. Anyway, my name is Kieran McKinley. This is season number 12. We're going to the US Grand Prix, and if it is wrong, well, I can easily change it. It's not the end of the world yet. Yeah, the US Grand Prix here at COTA. Really looking forward to this one. And yeah, it should be a fantastic track to go around, and it is actually round 18, so I will have to change that. Not to worry, I'd always get confused at some point. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Let's just quickly change that now. Obviously I am on my own tonight, so it is obviously just a quick change. One number difference. There we go. That should come through nice. So yeah, this is the American Grand Prix, or the US Grand Prix if you like, and at the Circuit of the Americas. It's a track that has plenty of those high-speed corners, braking zones, heavy ones at that too, and it's also got that long straight after the hairpin. Perfect for any overtaking zones. It's from a hairpin, down a long straight, down to a 90-degree left-hand corner, so it's a perfect opportunity for overtaking. The uniqueness of the track is also going uphill towards turn 1. The braking zone is actually a little bit later out on the track, so you can leave your braking that little bit later and you can actually find the right line for it. It's easy to lock up though, very easy to lock up, and obviously it will be a tight turn 1 when we get to the race. Obviously, we've got I believe we've got the Ultra Softs, the Super Softs, and the soft tyres available for the US Grand Prix. And one notable absentee is Blizzard, who is leading the Drivers' Championship by 88 points. And this needs to be the wake-up call for Squeezy. He has the opportunity to reduce this gap by 60 or 25 points if he is here tonight. Let's have a look at the driver entry list right now. Yes, he is here tonight. He can reduce that gap down to 63 points with 100 points left to score. He has to take that opportunity. Lambo there, 100 points exactly behind Blizzard. He has to take the opportunity as well to get that down to 75 points with 100 points left to score. If he doesn't score any points this race, with Blizzard not being here, the writing's on the wall, because on countback, if we have a look at race victories, Blizzard has won 6 races, Lambo has won 3. We'd have 3 races left to go, and then it would go count back on second places, which would require a lot more looking back to see when how many second places each driver had. But if we can't figure it out, believe it or not, it goes down to name. But you have to go through second places, then third places, 4th, 5th, 6th, etc., all the way down to 20th. And if they somehow have exactly the same results throughout the season, then it's literally by name. But there you go. Neon Rapid saying hello in the chat. Hello Neon, great to have you on board tonight. Which reminds me, actually, I've got to do the whole advertise on Twitter thing. I keep forgetting to do that. Anyway, it shouldn't take too long. At least I hope it doesn't. It will feel like a huge missed opportunity if Squeezy can't close in on that 88 point lead that Blizzard has. He needs to get that gap down to Squeezy, and he knows the pressure's going to be on to get that gap down. Obviously, getting it down to 63 points with 100 points left to score after this race would be a huge benefit to him, but we have to get there first. I believe actually there are actually 100 points left to score as of now, so actually it'll be 75 points when we go to the Mexican Grand Prix. So this is even more pressure for Squeezy. In fact, he has to score more than 13 points in this race to keep the championship alive. For Lambo, he has to win the race. Simple as. If Lambo doesn't win the race, he's out of the championship hunt. And if Squeezy finishes less or lower than second place in this race, then Blizzard will win season number 12. He will be the drivers' champion by the end of tonight, because of course we will have the Mexican Grand Prix, the Brazilian Grand Prix and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 3 races to go, 75 points scored. If Squeezy doesn't score a second place or higher, he will be out of the championship running. So the pressure's on then for Squeezy. He has to basically win this race to be in with a good chance of getting that coveted prize. But then, of course, the gap goes down to 63 points with 75 points left to score. It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough for Squeezy. But the added advantage of Blizzard not being here tonight is, well, there is that chance for him basically to have this in his own hands. This is his destiny now. If you believe in a thing called destiny, Lambo and Squeezy will be in control of theirs. And, well, on the YouTube channel, we're getting our way on TTTV or towards that 200 subscriber mark. If you're not subscribed already, please make sure you do click the subscribe button down below, and make sure you click the notification bell so you're notified every time the channel goes live. Now, if you just excuse me for a minute, I just have to do some adjusting with my microphone. Have to do it in a way that it doesn't crackle, because I've noticed I peak the mic quite a lot, especially when there's a lot of action going on. It's finding the right balance of capturing my voice and also not peaking the mic so I save your ears, which will be quite nice if I could do that. If I could do that, that'll be absolutely amazing. 14 drivers here tonight, and I'm looking forward to it, actually. Obviously, it's in Squeezy's hands. It's also in Lambo's hands. If Lambo doesn't win, he's out of the championship hunt. If Squeezy finishes lower than second, then he is also out of the championship hunt. So it really is pressure on, crunch time, as we head to the US Grand Prix. Welcome everybody to the stream. I hope you're having a lovely evening and not watching this rubbish thing called football. So what was it? League of Champions, is it called? I have no idea. But I'm glad you're watching us tonight here on TTTV. We're very happy to have you with us. As I've got to do the whole tweet thing, as Sean is actually the first person out on track. It's not Squeezy this time around. Sean is out there in the Williams on the ultra soft tyre as he makes his way now through this S section here. Very tricky to get this absolutely spot on. This is the part of the track, of course, where those corner cuts are going to be fully enforced, and it's very easy to put 4 wheels over that white line and get yourself that penalty. As I'm just popping up the tweet there, just to make sure people know. So yeah, pressure is on for this man, Squeezy, in the McLaren. Obviously, he has to score higher than second place tonight if he's got any chance of taking this championship battle to the next Grand Prix. As well as that, Lambo. Well, Lambo, simply put, has to win the race in order to carry the championship battle towards Mexico. The gap between himself and Blizzard is exactly 100 points. And if Lambo has any chance of winning, well, he's got to win every single race with Blizzard not scoring a single point to the end of the season. Now, that is going to be tough. Very tough. Because all Blizzard needs to do is score 1 point, and that will be it. Lambo's title hunt will be over. So, very much outside chance for Squeezy if he wins this race. Well, the gap at the moment is 88 points. If he wins the race, he can get that down to 63 points with 75 points left to score. But there is that fear, though, for Squeezy that he just needs to keep outscoring Blizzard. But again, that won't be enough. If he outscores him by 7 points, then, you know, you get closer and closer. But actually, even if Squeezy finishes first, for example, and Blizzard finishes second at Mexico, then that's championship decided as well. So here we are then on board with Squeezy as we head up towards turn 1. Uphill, very, very interesting decision there from the designers to have that, but it does provide a unique opportunity around the track then as we head through the S section now of turn 5 now through turn 6, riding on board with this camera angle with the halo in the way. It's a little bit odd to see the apex points and whatnot, but Squeezy then on the ultra soft tyres making his way now through turn 9 and then coming towards turn 10. And hang on a second. Look at that. Look who's decided to join the party. Blizzard there has joined in. He will be starting from the back of the grid. Well. He does like a little bit of drama. Starting from the back of the grid. But I'll tell you what. It'll jump up to 15 drivers in this race. Which for a start is fantastic. And second of all, that's even more pressure added on to Squeezy. And even more so for Lambo. Because, let me put it this way. If Blizzard scores one single point in this race, Lambo is out of the championship hunt, no matter where he finishes. Because Lambo needs to score all 25 of those points. And if Squeezy here, well, Squeezy has that, it's a 12-point gap. It's a 12-point gap. Squeezy's not happy with the lap and comes straight back in. Either that or it was just a banker lap, an installation lap if you like, making his way around. There is Ollie in the Red Bull. Now, so I have to make some maths and whatnot, which, as we all know, if you've ever seen me in the Esports Mini League, I'm terrible at maths, as Rapid there puts in a 133.8 on a set of soft tyres in the Force India. And with the Constructors' Championship, well, the maximum you can score is 43 points. And, well, the Constructors' Championship is still open. Toro Rosso do have a sizable lead. As I get the tables up. It's 340 versus 259. So that's 89 points, I believe. No, it's not. That's not right. 81 points. And you can score a maximum of 43 with 4 races to go. So, Championship hunt for there is coming to an end. And all Toro Rosso need to do is just keep out. All Force India have to do, sorry, is keep outscoring McLaren. Haas there, rank outsiders. Toro Rosso down there in 4th place. And, well, riding on board with Rapid as he makes his way now down towards turn 12. So the gap between Blizzard and Squeezy is 88 points. Blizzard has to make sure that that number doesn't go down to 75. If it does, then Squeezy still has that outside chance of winning the championship. Squeezy, though, has only won 2 races this season. So actually, on countback, if the two of them have a gap of 75 points by the end of the race, then technically Lambo will be champion. Because Lambo will be champion. Blizzard will be champion. Because technically, on countback, it is impossible for Squeezy to win the championship. So the pressure is on. So let's see, the gap between... Yeah, so it's 13 points down to 75 points as Rapid comes across the line again. So 133.8. Ollie there, 155.3. I'm going to guess that's an installation lap. I'm going to assume it is. Oh, Lambo loses the back end there. Full 360 there. Well recovered in the end around the penultimate corner. But under that huge pressure there, loses the car. We only saw the back end of that accident and the back end of Lambo's car, but that didn't look too encouraging. Maybe the ballast is running a little bit too far to the rear and carrying too much speed through turn 19. There's Alan Kay, who's coming back into the pits. It seems like I choose a car and they just go straight back into the pits. Such is my luck right now. Here comes Sean then now, coming through turn 18, now coming down towards turn 19. Turning the car in, and does he stay out on track? Yes, he does. I finally choose a car that's going to stay out on track then. Sean making his way around turn 20 then, so we might as well do our hot lap with Sean then on these soft tyres as he makes his way towards the start finish line, making your way now up the hill towards turn 1, a very unique braking zone. You can actually leave the braking a lot later than you think. Watch out for that come the race. Watch the exit of turn 1, very easy to spin up the rear tyres there, heading now through turn 2, and it's pretty much full throttle now until you hit turn 4, to going through 3, now going through 4, and then turn 5, and then the double right-hander going into turn 6, now coming through 7, and then up the hill towards 8, and then through that left-hander of turn 9, and that's the S section over. It feels like it goes on forever as you head through the kink of 10 and then down the hill towards turn 11, braking just after the 100-metre board as you make your way turning in, catch the curb on the inside, watch the wheel spin on the exit of turn 11, and then heading through the first DRS zone. Then the speed trap is just at the end of this straight, but as you can see, it's not really a straight, it does curve and it's hilly. So watch out for this. This is a main overtaking zone as we head down towards turn 12. Heavy braking for the left-hander here. As you can see, the McLaren getting well out of the way then as we head now towards turn 13. Tricky braking zone is turn 13. Very easy to lock up the tyres as we now head through turn 14. Another tricky braking zone of turn 15. Watch out for a car losing the back end or going straight on there. Watch the wheel spin on the exit of turn 15 as we head through 16. Past that Max Verstappen curb there. Through turn 17, then through turn 18 as we head now through the braking zone of turn 19. Lovely flowing corner if you get this right, turn 19, and now making your way towards turn 20, which bank upwards on the exit of the corner. And as we make our way towards the start finish line, Sean then posts a 133.794 to go provisionally top of the table. Steph there in P3, he posts a 134.362 and puts himself provisionally third. So I'm trying to work out the championship standings right now. So it's 88 points the gap between the two leaders. A Blizzard against Squeezy can afford a 75-point gap because then on countback he will technically win the championship. So if Blizzard wins the race, then for Squeezy it's game over. Game over. If put it simply, if Blizzard finishes in front of Squeezy and Lambo doesn't win the race, Blizzard will be champion. So there's a lot of maths going on here. And my brain can't work it out. Lighty then on the Ultrasoft tyres, making his way now down the DRS straight as we head towards turn 12. Riding on board with him now, the German in the Ferrari. That was season 11, Kieran. Keep up to date. Coming through now into turn 12 and making our way through to turn 13. A lot of rumours about where drivers are going to end up next season, as obviously we are coming towards the end of the season. Negotiations will be opening up between teams and drivers, and the negotiation process is going to be a lot more difficult than it has been over the past couple of seasons. It's what I hear anyway, as Sean betters his own lap time, 133.494, as Lighty then makes his way towards the final corner. Poe there, 132.1 on a set of soft tyres. Good lap time from him, as Lighty makes his way towards the line. 131.8 from Lighty on those ultra soft tyres, as he makes his way up the hill, provisionally on pole position. Pressure is on Lambo as he makes his way towards turn 11. Got to get that exit right as we make our way now down the straight. Spike here, now coming through, I believe this is at turn 15, and it is turn 15. Making our way now through that long right-hander of 16, 17 and 18. It classes it as 3 separate corners, and you can sort of see why, but to me it's just one long corner. And now as we head towards turn 19 with Spike then making our way towards that final corner. Spike making sure there's a good enough gap, turning up that ERS as much as he can, wanting to optimise the exit of the final corner. A little bit of wheel spin on the exit, that's not what he wanted. But he makes his way towards the line, so 140.0 as a sort of out lap. And it does take a lap or two to warm up those soft tyres on this track as we make our way. Oh, Spike losing the back end once again then as he heads through turn 2. And then making his way through this X section at 3, 4, then 5. It all comes at quick succession as we go through 6 and then through 7 here. As we make our way now through turn 8. Then it's through turn 9. And then through turn 10 here. That left-hander. Oh, sorry, now turn 10. Coming down here, this left-hander. It's just all those turns, those S-turns are, you know, they can kill the tyres if you're not careful. They can be a real ache for those tyres. How much do Force India need to win the Constructors? They can't win the Constructors in this race, no matter what the score is. They would love a 1-2. Obviously they would. Because of course 43 points would mean that they put the pressure on. But they can't win the Constructors' Championship at this race. Even with the gap as big as it is. It'll be close, but they can't do it. Mays then saying it is going to be dry, so that's good then. Dry running to the checkered flag. Spike saying he's struggling to get the car where he wants it. But you are on the soft tyre, Spike, so that could be a factor as to why that is. But as Spike then making his way around the final corner towards the start finish line, it's 132.5. Not a bad lap time. It's half a second slower than Lambo on the soft tyres, but you know, first run on those tyres with 5 minutes to go. My goodness, that time has flown by, hasn't it? 5 minutes to go then, and we have 9 lap times on the board. There is Siege on a set of super soft tyres. And what do you think about the tyres next season, guys? Oh, as Mays loses the back end there coming out of turn 15. Obviously, they're just going back to the whole red, yellow and white marked tyres, but of course they're different compounds they take to each race. Does that make it easier to keep up with it, or does it make it more difficult? Because I always thought now, as Mays makes his way around the final corner, it's easier to see which tyres not only are you bringing to each track, but you get an idea of how long they're going to last. Now when you head to a Grand Prix, you don't really have an idea of what the tyres are, which compound they are. All you get is the C1 to C5 now. That's the only thing you get now. So I think relatively it's a little bit uncertain about what tyres are which, and it will make it much easier because you just say the compound 1, 2 and 3 or whatever. Make it much easier on the radio. But I always wondered what a third word be, because you've got the option and the prime. Do you have the super prime? I don't know. Come up with a third word to go along with option, prime and something else. That's a challenge for you. Whilst I work out the championship standings, you can do that. Mason making his way now down towards turn 12, riding on board with the Renault then. And of course, if you've been paying attention this week, Ollie there, 131.7, puts himself at the top of the table on some super soft tyres. Of course, if you've been paying attention this week, that's pretty much the livery of the Renault for next season, except it's got a little bit more black on the car. Neon Rapid saying it's a stupid tyre system for the 2019 season. It is a little less complicated though, Neon, you have to admit. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. But, you know, we'll get used to it and we'll just push on, I guess. Mazen making his way around the final corner and making his way towards the line. It's a 1:32.1 and it puts him provisionally P5. Still waiting for lap times from Francis, Plaster and, of course, Squeezy. Pressure is on him. He's got to get as high up the field as possible. And interestingly, he's on some super soft tyres. He's confident then. He's got to score 13 more points than Blizzard to keep this championship battle alive heading to Mexico. As he makes his way now down towards turn 2 and then coming through the S section of 3 and then 4, 5. Long right-hander of turn 6 here. That's almost a double right-hander. Then we're going through 7. Up the hill now through turn 8. And you're just holding on for dear life, hoping the aero works. Flick the car into turn 9. And Squeezy's actually backed off of this lap. As that is Maze there, making his way back towards the pit lane. So Squeezy's backed off. Well, he's got to commit to these super soft tyres now as Ollie goes even quicker. 1:31.4 on those super soft tyres. He's got to commit to these tyres now. He hasn't got time to come back into the pits and put on a new set of tyres. This is it now. He has to stick with it. So there he is, warming up those tyres, making sure that the good temperature that he needs them to be as he makes his way now towards turn 13. So the pressure is on Squeezy. And we've been through the sort of championship implications. If Blizzard finishes anywhere in front of Squeezy, and Lambo does not win the race, then Blizzard will be crowned champion here tonight. As Alan Kay retires from the session, he qualified P9, and he seems pretty happy with that. Either that, or he knows he doesn't have time to set another lap time. Siege then on a flying lap in the Williams. So this is his last chance now. He won't get time for another lap, I don't think. Or if he does, it's going to be very close to the clock. Reaching 0, very close to the checkered flag. As Squeezy now makes his way uphill, he has to set a lap time. He's got to put himself in a really good position. This is the thing. As we now make our way through the S section, 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. 70 seconds to go of this session as Sean there on some super soft tyres. On a hot lap right now, 1:33.4. Only 3 drivers in the top 10 have qualified on the ultra soft tyre. And that is Lighty, Maze and Alan Kay. But Alan Kay right on the bubble there of the elimination zone, if you like, from the top 10. Francis is on a hot lap as well. He's making his way through turn 15. In fact, he's not on a hot lap. He's actually on his warm-up lap there. Plaster still on his out lap as well. Squeezy makes his way down towards turn 12. Here comes Siege around the final corner. What can he do? currently hasn't set a lap time as he comes across the line. What can he do? It was a 1:32.0, which would have put him in 4th place, and it has done. I thought for a minute there it didn't actually qualify his lap time, but it did. Siege then onto the 2nd row of the grid. Squeezy then making his way through turn 12, now coming towards turn... Oh, this is turn 16, 17 and 18 now. Lost my way on the track as we head towards turn 19. Pressure is on Squeezy. He's got to get this lap time absolutely right. He stayed within the track limits there. Makes his way around the final corner. He'll be the first driver to take the checkered flags. He loses the back end slightly out of the final corner. And Squeezy, 1:30.9. What a lap time. Pulled that one out of the bag. And he's grabbed pole position for now. And the only, I think Francis there runs a little bit wide. And I wonder if he's going to stay on his lap time. You do risk invalidating your lap time running that wide, but he makes his way now down towards turn 12 and along that long straight. There's Sean then making his way now through turn 12. Oh, sorry, turn 11 that is. The hairpin before then. Siege there backing off. Lambo also knows he has to win the race and hope that Blizzard doesn't score any points. That's a huge one. That's the huge one for Lambo, because he's exactly 100 points behind with 100 points left to score. We've already talked about, you know, if Lambo wins every single race from now and Blizzard somehow doesn't score any points to the end of the season, then Lambo, that's the only way he could become champion. With Squeezy, he has to outscore Blizzard by 13 points. So can Lambo get the right foot forward then as he heads through turn 19, now coming towards the final corner of turn 20, turns the car in, and what will the lap time be as he heads towards the line then? What can he do? It's a 1:31.5. He improves to P5, and Sean there goes up to P10. Good lap time from him, and with everyone in the pits or taken the checkered flag, Squeezy is on pole position. That is exactly what he needed to do to try and at least keep his championship hopes alive. So then, if you've been keeping up at home, if Squeezy wins and Blizzard finishes 3rd, I believe it is, working back on the points. If he finishes 3rd, then the championship goes to... I'm just going to read through the qualifying results. Squeezy on pole position, followed by Poe, who nicked the 2nd place there at the last lap. Ollie in P3, Lighty on 4th, Lambo in 5th, Spike in 6th, Siege in 7th, Maze in 8th, Rapid 9th, Sean running up the top 10, Steph in 11th, Alan K 12th, with Francis Plaster not setting a time. And of course Blizzard will be starting from the back of the grid in P15. Well, this is going to be quite something. So remember, Squeezy has to outscore Blizzard by 13 points to take this battle to Mexico. If he doesn't, then Blizzard will win the championship here, so long as Blizzard scores points in this race. So, the pressure's on then. The pressure is definitely on. And with Blizzard starting right at the back, he did post about... he did post about 8 minutes before the start of the race, or the start of qualifying I should say, that he's not going to race. He can't race tonight. 5 minutes through qualifying, decides to turn up. He does love to make his own drama, doesn't he, Blizzard? But serious game face is on now, because this could be a championship decider as we head for the American Grand Prix, or the US Grand Prix. As we head for the formation lap now, as the cars pull away, Squeezy here on pole position. Obviously that's 25 points right now, and I will try and keep you up to date with the scores as we go through. And I will emphasis on try, because it's going to be a lot tougher. But Squeezy making his way around the first couple of corners as he makes his way now through that S section. Let's have a look at what tyres everybody's on then. So obviously the top 10 have to start on the tyres they qualified on. And as you can see there, you've got Steph starting on a new set of super soft tyres, Alan on a new set of soft tyres, Francis on a new set of super softs, Blaster, a new set of super softs, and Blizzard there going also for the super softs. You're looking at a one stop if you've qualified on the super soft tyres, and you're going to be looking to stop around about lap 8 to 10 on those super soft tyres. From then on, you can make those soft tyres last to the end. It's going to be a difficult job because, of course, you have to keep those tyre temperatures in check, especially through the S section. But if you're good on tyre temperatures and tyre wear, then that one stop is definitely possible. And there comes Squeezy making his way now down towards turn 12. Pressure. What pressure? Managing to put it on pole position. That is something he needed to do. He's in prime position now to try and take this battle to Blizzard. But as we know, Blizzard does love to make his way through the field. And I wonder if he's sort of made a challenge for himself starting at the back of the grid. Well, Squeezy then making his way towards turn 19. An aim point now. The AI will take control of the car, as now it has done. So then the pressure's on for Squeezy, with Blizzard starting at the back of the grid. Watch out for Lambo then in P5 as we make our way now. The heartbeat might have raised in that McLaren, that's for sure. But here we are then. TTL is brought to you by weakwifi-solutions.com, who sponsor the Driver of the Day award. It's also brought to you by alogo.com, Alogo, I should say, who are also sponsoring the fastest lap of the race award. We'll keep an eye on that as we go through. But as all the drivers grid up now, we are moments away from the USA Grand Prix here in Texas at the Circuit of the Americas. It's a great track for league racing, and let's hope it delivers as we go to 5 red lights. Round 18 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like it's a good start from Squeezy and Poe, and it also looks like a great start from Lighty here. So we head our way now up towards turn 1. You can see the Sauber of Spike there trying to make a move up the inside. That's also the Red Bull of Ollie trying round the outside as we now head down towards turn 2, and Squeezy has held on to the lead now as we head through the S section now. Squeezy leads the field then, and you can see that's a Toro Rosso of Lambo. He's now dropped down to P7, and Blizzard there up to P11 in that start. So that's a really good start from him. And you can see the other Force India of Rapid trying to make his way through the field then, as they now come through turn 10 any moment now, down the hill towards turn 11. And it looks like a clean start then. Maze is trying to battle Lambo here as we head now down towards turn 11. And of course DRS not active yet. Blizzard now making his way up towards P10. So it's a fantastic start then. And Lambo and Maze are battling now down the straight as we make our way towards turn 12 for the very first time. Squeezy still trying to hold off Poe. And that's a Williams going right the way over to the right hand side of your screen. That is Siege trying to battle with Blizzard there. Trying to go up the inside. No room for Siege though. And he has to back out of that one as Steph makes his way past Francis. And Francis tries to dive it up the inside then as we head through towards turn 13. Steph trying to take it up the inside then for turn 15. He just about keeps the car under control, but he can't quite get the cut back then as we head through 16, 17 and 18 for the first time. They're still side by side then, and Francis goes off the track then and will try to rejoin later on, almost Lewis Hamilton-esque, running that wide there. And he will have marbles on the tyres, and that shows it. Losing the back end there as he comes towards the pit lane. I wonder if he's got damage then. At the end of lap 1, it's Squeezy leading from Poe, Lighty, Ollie, Spike, Lambo, Maze, Sean, Rapid, Blizzard, Siege, Steph, Plaster and Alan Kay, with Francis retiring from the pit lane. Well, Poe then putting the pressure on. I'm not sure Squeezy appreciates that pressure. But of course, a 24-point gap at the moment. Blizzard's looking to make that 23 as we make our way through the S's, and he has done. Rapid backs off. And that now becomes a 23-point gap. We've got yellow flags in Sector 1 here. And I believe that is because of Francis, whose car is now parked to the side. Meanwhile, Lighty runs wide on the exit of turn 9, going through turn 10. He opens himself up to Ollie then, as we head now down towards turn 11. Ollie thought about a move up the inside. Lighty runs a little bit deep into the corner, and that's going to cost him on the exit then. But Lighty at the moment with those ultra soft tyres looking okay on the traction. Blizzard now up to 8 as he makes his way past Sean then. We've got yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2. Sean and Blizzard trying to have a drag race, because we're also trying to look at Lambo and Spike then as we head down towards turn 12. A lot of battling going on in the field as Lambo and Ollie, Lighty and Ollie trying to battle for positions. There's so many battles, I'm getting all the confused right now as Blizzard now moves up to 8th place. As he makes his way past Sean. Next target is Maze as Lambo then moves his way up to P5. He's holding on for dear life, trying to defend from Spike. He knows he has to win the race. That's all he can do to try and keep his championship hopes alive. Other than that, it's all out of his hands as Lighty trying to put some pressure on Ollie, but loses the back end there as he was going through turn 19. That must have been a bit of a scary moment then. Lap 3. DRS will be enabled this lap. So as we head up the hill then, the first DRS zone they can use will be the back straight as we head towards turn 12. As Lambo tries to move around the outside and might have just pulled the dummy off there as we head now through turn 2. Lambo's got the outside line, but they'll then have the inside line for turn 3, and he has done. Lighty has to back out of the move then, and Lambo moves himself up to P4. He's doing everything he can. Blizzard right behind Maze then. He's moved up to 8th place as now Spike moves ahead then, and there's contact in the back there. Now I saw a bit of debris come off there. Was that off Blizzard's car, I wonder? Well, he's going to try and attack Maze then through turn 10, and now coming down towards turn 11. He's up the inside. Watch out for those Williams as well of Sean and Siege as Blizzard tries to make his move up the inside. He's past Maze, and now he's in the slipstream of Lighty then. He will have the DRS, of course. And as we make our way up the hill, down the hill, then up it again, Lighty goes to the left-hand side to defend the inside line. You can see there Blizzard running with a higher aero setting. Can't quite get the move on Lighty then, as they're both matched for pace then. Of course, they both have DRS, so they're pretty much matched for pace. Look for those Williams behind, and that looks like Siege trying to make a move on Sean then. Siege has the outside line as Sean tries to defend, and they're still battling up ahead. Blizzard up the inside of Lighty through turn 15. He's got the move done up to P6. And, well, that is a really good start then. So P6 is worth 8 points right now. So at the moment, the championship battle heads to Mexico. But, of course, we've only had 3 laps here today. And that is the McLaren of Lighty coming into the pits then. So he's had enough of those ultra soft tyres already. Knew they wouldn't last too long. And as we head on to lap number 4, looks like Ollie there is under pressure from Lambo. And Lambo knows so much pressure on him. He almost might be thinking, well, if I don't win the race, then that's that. And, well, that's exactly the scenario. He has to win and hope that Blizzard doesn't score any points. You never want to wish ill of your rivals, as Rapid picks up his first 3-second time penalty of the day, as Steph does exactly the same. You never want to wish ill of your opponents in the race. But he'll just be thinking, what if Blizzard doesn't score points? As Siege then gets away past Rapid then. Siege goes up to 8th place, and Rapid now is under pressure from Sean as we now head our way down towards turn 12 for the 4th time in this race. And of course, Sean trying to have a look up the inside there. Not quite getting the power down. And as we make our way now up the hill as we head towards turn 12, he will have the DRS. Meanwhile, Ollie and Lambo battling for position as we head now down towards turn 12. And you can see Ollie trying to run wide there to try and get a better line. Didn't quite work, and Lambo is on to the podium spots. So Squeezy is doing all he needs to do as he makes his way now through this long right-hander here that's technically classed as 3 corners. And as we make our way now towards turn 19, Squeezy still in the lead from Poe, Lambo, Ollie, Spike, Blizzard, Maze, Siege, Rapid, Sean, Steph, Plaster, Alan K and Lighty, with Francis retiring in the pit lane. There's a good battle that might be coming on here between Steph and Plaster, as Steph loses the back end. Not in control of that car going through turn 19. Managed to regain control, but Plaster can sense that now. And Steph instantly pulls to the left-hand side. He knows he's under danger. He's under threat here as we head towards turn 1. Plaster moves to the right-hand side. And it looks like he's going to try the cutback here. And that's exactly what he's going to try and do. Up the inside. And Steph onto the curb. Can't get the power down. And Plaster moves up to P11. And Blizzard gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I said how easy it is to run the car over those white lines and pick yourself up those penalties. And those penalties could come back to haunt Blizzard come the end of the race. As you can see there, Steph is still on the back of Plaster, not willing to let him go at all as we head through turn 9, heading down the kink of turn 10, on board with the Mercedes. We might be watching the battle between the Williams and the Force India here of Sean and Rapid, as Sean finds his way up the inside and has taken the position away from Rapid. Rapid's not going to let go easily though, but Sean has the DRS, and look at Rapid here, still side by side, is he? Will he tuck into the slipstream? Yes, he will. So that DRS in the end working. But that is the Force India trying to go up the inside then as we head towards turn 12. Very close between them. No contact made though. And Sean there holds on as we head through turn 12 now. As Rapid looking for a way through turn 13 and then 14 and 15. No way through though for the Force India. And he has to hold position for now. We head towards turn 19 then, on board with this battle. And I have to say, you can see now Rapid is just starting to drop away. And in fact, he comes into the pits on lap 6. Quite an early call then from Rapid, but he comes into the pits then to replace those super soft tyres. Lambo then in P3. Blizzard is in 6th place right now, and of course 6th place is worth 8 points. And if you're trying to work it out at home, that is 24? No, 4. Hang on a second. let me get the numbers right. It's 17 point gap now between the two of them. So that means that the championship battle will go to Mexico. As it stands, of course, as it stands means there's a long, long way to go. We're only on lap number 6 here. Blizzard knows the pendulum has shifted. He knows he's in control. He knows he just has to side his way through the field. He's got Spike up ahead of him as he's maxing out 7th gear here. And he makes his way down towards the braking zone of turn 12, putting Spike under that pressure. And 10 points there would reduce the gap to 15 points. And after that, when he gets to 4th place, obviously that's worth 12 points. And that would be the last position that Squeezy, or that Blizzard could gain with the championship going to Mexico. So basically, if Blizzard gets 3rd place and Squeezy wins the race, then Blizzard will be champion. Blizzard then coming around the final corner, putting that pressure on Spike. 2.2 seconds is the gap. As I'm desperately trying to work it out in my head to see if I'm actually right. Here comes Siege though, putting Maze under a bit of pressure, coming up the hill now, up the inside, in towards turn 1 then, and using that uphill, later braking zone to his advantage. Siege makes the move on Maze. Maze there on some ultra soft tyres, and at the moment those ultra soft tyres will be going off. And he actually does pick himself up a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Alan Kay and Steph battling for position as he head towards turn 2. Alan Kay running wide. Of course, he's on the soft tyre. He's starting on those tyres, and Alan Kay takes the line and says, "You're not having that one, Steph," as they fly through turn 6. Alan Kay takes that position away from Steph, then up to P11 he goes. And there goes Rapid then, round through Light E. As easy as that. It looked as if Light E just made a mistake or just wasn't willing to battle, but, well, Rapid now up to P13. He's on the soft tyre, so he's looking to try and make those last to the end of the race. And meanwhile then Lambo holding off Ollie for now, Spike holding off Blizzard, and I'm pretty sure Squeezy will be saying to Spike, please hold him back as much as you can. But obviously Spike here defending from Blizzard as now they head through turn 16, 17 and 18. Through this right hand, you can already hear Blizzard having to lift off now as they head through there. Sometimes you can take that flat, just a little lift, but they're lifting a lot earlier now, so the tyre wear is taking its toll right now. As we head on to lap number 8, Squeezy still in the lead with Poe in 2nd, Lambo 3rd, Ollie 4th, Spike in 5th, Blizzard in 6th. The Siege pits in from 7th place. Here's a move from Ollie then up towards turn 1. Has he got the move done? He'll have the inside line then, but Lambo will have the cut back, and he takes that position back away from Ollie then as they head through turn 2. And that's the problem with attacking up the inside in towards turn 1. You leave yourself open to the cutback. And on the run down to turn 2, you could actually be out of pocket. So you have to time that move through turn 1 to perfection if you're going to make that move. So with Siege in the pits then, he puts on a set of soft tyres and rejoins, I believe, in 12th place, just ahead of Rapid as well. So Rapid won't be too pleased with that one. In fact, he's joined straight ahead of him. Blizzard then. Look at this, it's the closest he's been. Watch out for that battle up ahead of them as well between Lambo and Ollie as they head towards turn 12. 2 battles to look at. Will Ollie try and move now down towards turn 12? He will. And has he got the inside line? He has. Meanwhile, Blizzard has got the move done before the braking zone. So Ollie moves up to P3. He's having to hold off from Lambo then as they head towards turn 13. Then through 14. And then coming towards this turn 15. Tricky braking zone here. But Ollie up to P3, Lambo down to P4. Blizzard, meanwhile, is up to 5th place. Putting that pressure on Squeezy right now. Rapid then getting away past Steph. Lots of battles happening. Lap 9. Ollie then is now getting away from Lambo, even in the DRS zone. Lambo just can't quite have the same straight line speed as the Red Bull. Contract negotiations could be crucial next season, and I wonder if some of the big guns might be hiring some of the big talents in this league. It's going to be a tough negotiation process, that's for sure, as Steph then losing the back end, coming out of the final corner, and Lighty gets the P13 then, as they head up the hill, and Steph down in P14 right now. Ollie is gapping Lambo then, and Blizzard here 2 seconds behind Lambo, and the gap's increasing. Now I wonder if that's because Blizzard doesn't have DRS or something like that. The Plaster picking up a 3-second time penalty, they all add up. But Lambo with the DRS, able to close in on Ollie. But again, it just seems so frustrating for Lambo. He can't quite get that gap he needs. He can't quite pull in the gap as much as he wants to. And at the moment on lap number 9, Blizzard in 5th place with Squeezy leading the race. Squeezy's point difference this race is 25 at the moment versus 10. So the points gap is 15. So that means it will go to Mexico next round. Lambo comes into the pits then. And Sean picks up a 3-second time penalty. Commentating and trying to work out the points difference between these two is going to be difficult, but I tell you what, I'm going to give it my best shot. So Ollie takes the lead then as Squeezy, Poe, Lambo and Blizzard all pit in. Maze pits in as well, and I wonder at Sean, no, he doesn't pit in, so he's going to stay out. He's going to jump up then. Spike will move up into P2. Sean will move up to P3 then. Just about, is he? Yes. No, he's not. Squeezy moves up to P3 and Jory joins ahead of Sean, and that's crucial then. So Sean then, a little bit of traffic there for Poe. I wonder if in the pit lane there's a little bit of traffic happening, because Blizzard's now rejoined in 10th place. So I wonder if there was a bit of traffic in the pit lane then. Pretty odd for Blizzard to rejoin down in 10th place there, but well, it's got the job to do now as Poe is right behind Sean as they head through turn 10, now coming towards turn 11. Poe up the inside in towards turn 11, and I wonder who has the DRS then as we head towards that DRS zone. I think it actually will be Poe who has the DRS. We'll find out as we cross the line. Yes, he does have DRS, so a little bit cheeky then as we head now down the long straight down towards turn 12. And for Poe here, well, he does lie 4th in the championship, still wanting to try and catch Lambo. The gap difference between them is 48 points. So there's a slim chance that Poe can catch Lambo, but Lambo will be fully focused on trying to get as many points as possible. Only a win will do for Lambo. That's the only way he has a chance of taking this championship battle for him to the Mexican Grand Prix. Ollie in the pits then, and he puts on a set of soft tyres, so that means Spike will take the lead of the race on lap number 11, but there is Squeezy 3.8 seconds behind, and he will not be too happy that Spike will be in front of him. Siege has set fastest lap after fastest lap then, 1:35.1 on that lap, so he's really going for it as Lambo then gets ahead of Sean and moves up to 4th place, heading through the S's now. And Rapid and Alan Kay, there is Blizzard as well. Blizzard's got to be careful here, they're making it 3 wide as we go through turn 3. Blizzard there, oh, there's contact behind him as Alan Kay and Rapid touch there, and it looks like Rapid just backed off there. And, well, it looked like Rapid just understeered into Alan Kay. He's got front wing damage, and he actually gets a 10-second time penalty, pulls off to the side, and is out of the US Grand Prix then. So that is a Force India in the wall, and that pretty much confirms that the Constructors' Championship will definitely not be won here. And I wonder what the virtual Charlie Whiting is going to say. Normally, if it's a safety car, it might have been deployed by now, but no. So virtual Charlie Whiting is happy for the car to be moved just under yellow flags right now. Sean then in 6th place. Siege in 7th, and there is Blizzard in 8th place. And Squeezy is now only half a second back from Spike. Spike makes his way into the pit lane. So Squeezy will take back the lead as he sets the fastest lap of the race. 1:34.491. That is the current A-Logo fastest lap of the race. And there is Sean coming into the pits. So that's going to be another position for Blizzard then. So Spike is also in. And Spike may be able to put some pressure on Blizzard towards the end of the race. He passes him in the pit lane there. There is Spike. Actually, he's just about to rejoin onto the track then. And he's only rejoined just behind Blizzard. I tell you what. Coming down the hill then. As we head away through the S's then. We'll have a look at what else is happening on track then. Lighty under pressure from Maze. Lighty on 8-lap-old super soft tyres. Lighty went for the 2-stop then. As we make our way now through the S's. And it looks to me that Lighty is going to have to stop again. Yellow flag, sector 1. And who might that be? It's Steph. Steph's the wrong way around. And has he collect? Yes, he's damaged his front wing now on the left-hand side. So that was the reason there. Here comes Maze then up the inside, going towards turn 11. And Lighty slams that door shut. And Maze then will wait for the DRS zone. And then watch out as well between Sean and Plaster. That battle for 11th place on board with Maze. He didn't get a great exit. That probably didn't help the door being slammed shut on him. They'll keep on battling away with Lighty. There's Plaster closing the gap between himself and Sean. Plaster going for the move down the inside, heading towards turn 12. And only a front wing. If he had another front wing in front of that car, then there might have been contact. But Plaster able to stop the car. Couldn't quite make that move stick as Lighty runs off the track. Gets himself a 3-second time penalty for his troubles. Maze goes up the inside as Lighty runs wide. And once you run wide onto those marbles, you lose all of that grip. Maze then moves up to 9th place. So after the pit stop phases then, Blizzard is in 6th place. So of course 6th place scores 8 points. So he'll be looking to try and close in on Siege wherever he can. But Siege looks like he's loving these soft tyres. He set fastest lap after fastest lap. A little bit of gap between each driver now. Lap 13, almost halfway through this US Grand Prix. Squeezy is leading the way. Poe is in 2nd. Lambo 3rd. Ollie in 4th place. Siege is in 5th with Blizzard in 6th. Spike in 7th. Alan K in 8th. Maze is in 9th place. Sean in 10th. Plaster in 11th. Lighty 12th. Steph is into the pits. And Alan K has to make a stop at some point during this race. We're not expecting it though for a good while yet. One of the only drivers to go on the alternate strategy, the soft to super softs. So we'll see how that strategy goes. But Squeezy leading the way at the moment. And he'll just be hoping that he can just push as much as he possibly can. He's got to reduce that 88-point deficit to under 75. And at the moment, it will be 70 points heading to Mexico. The point deficit between them, I believe it is. Blizzard there, another 3-second time penalty. That could come back to bite him at the end of the race. You never know. So point gap between them. Having to work this out, watch the screen and see all that battle happening. With the cars gapped at the moment, it is a good time to see what the gaps are. So the deficit at the moment will come down to 71 points. If it finishes like this, which means Squeezy will still be in the championship hunt, but with Blizzard there with less and less points on the board for towards the latter half of the season, with only 3 races to go after this one, that means 75 points are up for grabs. So Blizzard here might just be thinking of an Alan Prost. Just don't worry about this race and focus on the next one. If I finish here, I might not win the championship here, but I tell you what, I've only got to score 4 points if Squeezy wins the race, and that'll be that. Alan K meanwhile under pressure from Maze, and I don't think Alan K put up too much of a battle there as we headed through turn 11. They're both on different strategies, and I don't think Alan K was willing to battle. Just wants to focus on his strategy. That is Steph ahead of the McLaren there of Squeezy, as the blue flags show. So we're halfway now through this Grand Prix. Squeezy leads from Poe and Lambo And Lambo here, as it stands, is going to be out of the championship with 3 races to go. But I'll tell you what, he's going to keep pushing until that checkered flag. Ollie in 4th place there, looking to try and close the gap on Lambo. 3.5 seconds is the gap. Siege then has done well at the moment. He's sort of in a race of his own at the moment. He's matching the pace of Ollie, and he's matching the pace of Blizzard right now. And those 2-second gaps are helping him, because of course you've got that clean air. You're able to run freely and manage those tyres as much as you want. Let's have a look at some battles then on the timing screen. And it looks like down in 9th place there might be a little bit of a battle happening. So let's jump down to 9th place. That's between Alan Kay and Sean. But I tell you what, if the other battle between Maze and Alan Kay is anything to go by, I don't think Alan's going to put up too much of a battle here as we head through turn 10 down towards turn 11. The Williams, is he going to look to the left hand side? Yes, he is. Goes up the inside, and again, yeah, Alan Kay doesn't fight it. And he'll benefit from some slipstream, but actually it's going to be Sean who gets the DRS. I'll tell you what though, Alan Kay closing and closing, but then at some point down the straight, there it is. The DRS is in full effect there, and Sean pulls away. And Alan Kay then preferring to just stay behind Lambo. 3-second time penalty. And we have to watch out for those 3-second time penalties, because they will come into full force at the end of this race. Lap number 16. On board with Squeezy as he makes his way through turn 2. And like I keep saying, the deficit or the point gap between the two drivers as it stands is 71 points. As Steph picks up a 3-second time penalty. So Squeezy cannot let that gap at the end of this race get to 75 points, because he will no longer be able to win the championship, because the amount of races he has to win won't be enough. He's on 2 race wins this season, I believe, if I just give that a quick check, with 3 races to go. And yes, he has won 2 races this season, so even if he were to win every single race till the end, it's going to be very, very tough for him. Of course, 4 races plus 2 is 6. That would match Blizzard. But again, he'll just have to keep pushing for now. On board with that helicopter shot there. And Squeezy now negotiates his way through turn 15. Blizzard is closing on Siege. 1.3 seconds is the gap as we now make our way towards turn 13. And then this small kink of turn 14 as we make our way towards the braking zone of turn 15. I'll tell you what, Blizzard is not far away from Siege. He's also not far away from Ollie either. But he does have a few penalties behind him. So this is what he's got to watch out for. As Blizzard now making his way now towards turn 19. And then towards turn 20. He is playing it fine with those track limits. 4 wheels just over the white line twice in that section alone. But he is closing the gap on Siege. He's got to be careful about those track limits. The more he gets, the more he'll find himself further back the field. Spike could jump him if he keeps the gap now, because I believe Blizzard has 6 seconds worth of penalty, and I think Spike has 3. So that's 3 in total then, if you add them all up. So at the moment, Spike is just going to pip Blizzard. But of course, we have 12 laps to go, 11.5 if you're being picky. Squeezy leading the way. And you know what? Squeezy's pretty consistent right now, because he was only a tenth, 1.18 seconds off his best sector time through sector 1. But coming on to the first DRS straight, and you can see here Blizzard only 8 tenths back. Bottom right hand corner you can see that DRS zone, and the DRS is active. Blizzard closing in on Siege, and he wants as many points as possible. Knowing Blizzard, he wants to win the championship here. That's exactly what he wants to do. And making his way now towards turn 13 and 14. Now turn 15 is ahead of him, and Siege is getting closer and closer with every corner that passes. Now heading through 16 and 17 and 18 here. Now coming towards the left-hander of turn 19. Nice flowing corner when you do get it right. And now coming towards turn 20. If Blizzard can wrap up the championship here, I'm sure he will. And he'll just keep pushing DRS open then. 6/10 is the gap. As he closes and closes on Siege then. He's closing rapidly now up towards turn 1. He won't try the move here. But look how much he's closed up on that single straight then. Down the hill now towards turn 2. And riding on board with Blizzard then. The clouds are looming over. So the track temperature could drop slightly. Which might favour drivers. Oh, Blizzard there getting very close to the back of the Williams then. No contact made though. As we now head up towards turn 8 then. And then through turn 9 you can see Blizzard there trying to take a different line to Siege to try and get a better exit. We've got yellow flags up ahead. And that looks like Steph there making a mistake up ahead. And it is. And Steph just stays out of the way of the other drivers there as he gets blue flagged. And this could be a move for 5th place then. With the DRS open, Blizzard in the slipstream of Siege. Siege, is he going to battle this one then as they head now down towards turn 12 and Blizzard moves across then to take the racing line. And Blizzard is up to 5th place. His next target is Ollie. Now he's scoring 10 points as it stands. And it would be a 15-point deficit. It still means the championship battle will be taken to Mexico. That's the saving grace right now for Squeezy up ahead. Meanwhile, battle for the last point as Alan Kay is getting closed in by Plaster as they make their way now down towards turn 12. And look at that, Plaster into the points paying positions up to P10. And Mays looking like he's getting caught by Sean there in that Williams, trying to close the gap. And Blizzard now coming up towards turn 1 and Siege is still right behind him. It looks like Siege didn't quite get the power down as he wanted out of turn 1 there. As we make our way through 2, 3, 4. As Blizzard picks up another 3-second time penalty. This is going to cost him now towards the end of the race. 10 laps to go. 10 laps until we find out whether we hold the celebrations. If we can celebrate. We make our way now through turn 10. Now down towards turn 11. This is far from over as Alan Kay pits in now. He'll put on a set of super soft tyres and that will get him to the end of the race. As you can see, Sweezy Stewart's doing a mighty job up at the front. 5 seconds now, the gap between himself and Poe there in 2nd place. Lambo in 3rd. As it stands, he will be out of the championship hunt heading to Mexico. Ollie in 4th place, Blizzard in 5th. And with Squeezy leading and Blizzard in 5th, that means the title race is going to be taken to Mexico, with the points gap between the two of them being 73 points. Here comes Blizzard then towards turn 19, and to correct myself earlier, Blizzard will have to finish in 4th place to equal to get 75 point gap between the two of them. And with 3 races to go after that, there will be no way. Well, if Squeezy wins every single race, there is a outside chance he could do it, as I believe Blizzard has 6 wins this season, and he does have 6 wins this season. Squeezy at the moment has 2 wins. He could make this 3. There's 3 more races after this. That could pump it up to 6. So you never know. But that won't matter if Blizzard can finish in 3rd place, because that will mean outright the championship is won here. But Blizzard has 9 seconds of penalties, remember. That's going to cost him. That's going to eat into that time coming towards the end of the race and to the checkered flag. Sean, meanwhile, has not let up on this pressure on Mays with 9 laps to go. Sean believes that this position he can take. And the gap between them is 7/10 of a second. It's entirely possible then for the Williams to catch the Renault. And you can see now coming through turn 10, now coming towards turn 11. And that's a move by Sean then up the inside, as the move has been made then. Slams the door shut then on Mays, and Mays really didn't have anywhere to put the car. And Sean moves up then to 8th place. The Williams then has the DRS and will try and make a gap to the Renault then. The Renault's got the slipstream though, and pretty much held his line there, held the gap between the two of them. But Sean then up to 8th place, and that looked like a move that's been coming. And I wonder now if the Williams can get away from the Renault. Lap 21 of 28. And that means we have 8 laps to go now. Squeezy leading as Sean picks up a 3-second time penalty now. 4.7 is the gap between Squeezy and Poe. And Squeezy just doing the job he needs to do here. Coming down the hill now towards turn 11. Lambo, well, third place is not going to be enough. We keep saying that. Yellow flag sector 3, and this is Steph coming in. And I wonder if he's lost the car again. Alan Kay, interestingly, rejoined on the ultra soft tyre. So he's looking for some quick laps to the end of the race. Sean under pressure from Mays then, as we head through the S section. 4/10 is the gap between them. So Sean hasn't really got away from Mays, but of course with those DRS zones where they are, it looks like Mays' car is set up for the straights. Riding on board with the Renault driver then. As we make our way through turn 10, now coming down towards turn 11. And Mays here looking to try and use that DRS zone to gain that advantage. We will have DRS, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner of your screen there. And he activates it, and we'll see how close he can get before the end of this straight then. As you can see, he's closing fast then, coming towards turn 12, and he doesn't think about the move. He braked quite early then to prevent that move from happening in the first place. Meanwhile, behind them, Plaster and Light E are going to battle away for position then. And Plaster, well, his points position is under threat at the moment, as the clouds really have loomed over. The sun's definitely gone in, so the track could be getting a little bit cooler, and that's going to promote graining on the tyres. So a little bit of increased tyre wear maybe. As the tyres start to cool down, they'll start to get a little bit of graining, and that's now 12 seconds of penalties for Blizzard. That's going to drop him right down the field. 12 seconds. Plaster, meanwhile, still trying to hold off Light E then. As they head through the final corner, you can see that Plaster, that yellow fuel icon means that he's under-fueled, so he won't make it to the end of lap 28. That's what the car's telling him. As we head up the hill towards turn 1 now, as Light E, does he have the inside line? As I'm trying to get a better camera angle, and Light E does have the move done. Up the inside, in towards turn 1, and Light E takes that position away from the Ferrari. Sean, meanwhile, 0.8 of a second separates himself and Mays, but whilst the gap is under a second, Mays can just use that to try and pull himself back in along that straight with the DRS. We have 7 laps to go of this race, and it'll be interesting to see where Blizzard ends up in this race, because he's got 12 seconds worth of penalties, more than any other driver in the race right now. He's really not helping himself with these penalties. If he wants to wrap this up now, then considering all the other penalties, the best he's finishing is 7th place, and that will be 6 points, meaning the championship lead will go down by 11 points, I believe. It's more than that, I'm sure it is. 25 points to 6 points, so yeah, the championship 21 points I should say, so it'll actually fall to 67 points, which seems like a more manageable gap, that's for sure. Lap 23, we have 6 laps to go. Plaster here has another 3-second time penalty. I believe that's 6 seconds I want to say for Plaster, if I'm trying to keep up with this. But you can see now Blizzard closing the gap on Ollie now. And on track, this would level it up. It would be 75 points, the gap between Squeezy and Blizzard heading to Mexico. But of course, Blizzard has those 12 seconds worth of penalties. He knows he just has to push as hard as he possibly can now, with Steph there setting the fastest lap of the race, 1:34.044. That is currently the A-Logo fastest lap of the race there. He is on those ultra soft tyres, and he looks like he's just trying to have a little bit of fun setting those fastest laps now. The clouds really have loomed over. There is no rain expected, but from those clouds, they sort of tell a different story here. Ollie then under pressure from Blizzard as they make their way out of the final corner. We have 5 laps to go here at COTA, here at Texas. Squeezy still leading, and he knows he just has to keep within those white lines. No pressure then, Squeezy. There's Poe there. You can see he's right on the edge of making it to the end of the race with that fuel. Obviously, it just blinked up yellow for a second there. So a little bit of fuel management going on in that Haas there. And Blizzard looking to close in on the Red Bull then as we head through turn 8 and then through turn 9 now. Up the hill and down towards the slight kink here. Left-handers, there's yellow flags in sector 2 and that looks like Steph. I think he's just getting out of the way of other drivers. As he is 1 lap down. That's not 1 lap down on the race leader, that's 1 lap down on Alan Kay. So yeah, Steph has not had a great day here, but he's just trying to stay there and try and get some points. He knows there's always an opportunity of points if something goes wrong at the end. But Blizzard here looking for a move then on Ollie. Now on track, this means the point gap between Squeezy and Blizzard going towards Mexico would be 75 points. So Blizzard wouldn't be confirmed champion because there is a slight outside chance that Squeezy could win the rest of the races with Blizzard not scoring any points, and it could be done on count back there, and it all depends on how many race wins and then second places and then third places as Blizzard goes and sets his personal best lap of the race, 135.0, and he really is closing up the gap then on Ollie as we head now down the hill towards turn 2. 4 laps to go. Squeezy's still in the lead by 4.7 seconds. That gap has really stabilised between himself and Poe then. Lambo trying to close in on Poe in these early stages. In these late stages, I should say. But he's just not able to. 3.8 seconds, so it's gone up per mini sector. As Blizzard still trying to chase down Ollie then. Heading through turn 10. He's got to be careful of those track limits. The more he gets, the more it's going to hurt him towards the end of the race. Coming around turn 11 now, and he will have the DRS, and he's up into hot lap mode there, then down to overtake as he's closing in on Ollie now. Will he have enough of a straight to make the move then? Ollie sticking to his line right now, and Blizzard not going to make the move, but he's right on his gearbox. Here is the Force India as we now make our way through turn 13, then through turn 14, and Blizzard here looking for a way past. He looks down the inside of turn 15 and he's got the move done. What a move from Blizzard. That looked a little bit unorthodox, but he's got the move done. Up to P4 he goes, and Ollie there just was not expecting it. Neither was I. Great move from Blizzard then. He's up to P4, but where will he be at the checkered flag? 3 laps to go then. Squeezy still leads the way. He's been doing such a professional job at the top here, at the front. Poe is in second place with Lambo in third, Blizzard in fourth, but this battle's far from over. Here comes Ollie then. Is he going to try and move up the inside in towards turn 1? Yes, he is. He'll have that inside line, but Blizzard will try the cutback then as we head now down towards turn 2. And Blizzard trying to hold it round the outside, couldn't quite do it. And we now head through turn 3 and 4 and 5 and this whole left section. And Ollie makes his way back in front. Great move from Ollie. And as Blizzard tries to find a way past, it's not happening this time around. Blizzard now down to P5, back down to P5 after a great move from Ollie up towards turn 1. Not much time left in this race for Blizzard to try and make up lost ground. In being those 12 seconds of worth of penalties, it will drop him severely down the field if no one else has a penalty. The best he's looking for right now is P7. And there is rain falling. There is rain falling at the end of this race. Well, this is going to spice it up a little bit. So rain is falling now on the circuit. This late into the race, there won't be a chance to go onto the intermediate tyres. But the track is going to get more and more greasy. Here comes Blizzard then. Same place. On the next lap, up the inside of turn 15. And Blizzard once again gets that move done. And as you see here, the track will get less and less grippy. 2 laps to go. And as I said, there won't be enough time to get onto a set of intermediate tyres. The track won't get that wet that quickly, especially with the rain as light as this. And as we head around the final corner, still with Ollie and Blizzard. Ollie with the DRS, he looks a little bit too far back to try and move on Blizzard here. As we head now up towards turn 1. And yes, he is too far back. Blizzard this time holds his position going around turn 1. But we'll have to keep an eye on that gap then to himself and Spike, because it looks like it's 7 seconds separating himself and Spike does have penalties, so it'll all be decided at the checkered flag. Meanwhile then, Poe and Lambo battling it out for position as they fly through turn 10, now coming towards turn 11. Poe's made a mistake somewhere and Lambo's taken full advantage. Well, where did Poe get it wrong then? I wonder if he just clipped a little bit of track there that was a little bit damp and his slick tyres weren't going to grip to it. Well, Poe's made a mistake out there and it's cost him dearly. It's cost him second place. And in this battle he's having with Lambo in the championship for third place, that is not going to help him whatsoever here. Disaster for Poe then. I wonder what happened. Well, he was managing that gap to Squeezy 3.7. Now the gap's 8.1 to Lambo. So Squeezy will have seen that now and just sort of thinking, well, I can take it easy now as he makes his way around the final corner. This sort of drive is reminding me of the Felipe Massa drive at Brazil in 2008. He's done all he can. He's led pretty much every single lap, apart from those pit windows, of course. He's done all he possibly can. The DRS is still online as we head on to the final lap. So it looks like it's going to stay online for the rest of the race then. As Poe looking for a move past Lambo once again. As we head through the S section, Squeezy just has to keep it on the track now towards the checkered flag. And as I say, the track will get more and more greasy. You can see here, even so, the drivers here are trying to take a little bit of compromise line. You can see they're not taking these S's as quickly as they were. So it is getting greasy out there. And a greasy track on slick tyres is not great at all. It's not great to drive in at all. It's a lot of fun, especially when you get a little bit sideways. But in terms of grip, not yet. Not preferable at all. But then Squeezy then heading down towards turn 12 for the final time. And again, he has done all he possibly can as he makes his way now around turn, this is 14 now, as he heads towards turn 15, making his way now towards that fast right-hander. It won't be so fast now, that's for sure. A lot of grease on the track now. And how much does he lift? He lifts a lot there. Yeah, he's lifting a huge amount going through there. Not as much as I might have expected then. And heading through turn 19. And here comes Squeezy then around the final corner. He's going to take his third race win of the season. He's done all he possibly can. Squeezy wins in Texas and wins the US Grand Prix. Great drive from Squeezy then. Lambo coming around the final corner then. He's going to take second place, is he? Yes, he is. And Poe there, 3 seconds as someone's gone off behind them because Blizzard's now up to 4th place as he crosses the line. Now, how far down the order will he go? Ollie is promoted up to 3rd place then, as Poe's also falling down the order. Siege in 4th, Poe 5th, that's Blizzard in 6th. The Spike loses the car then. Does he cross the line? Yes, he does. 6th place there for Spike. So that is the worst possible scenario for Blizzard then. The championship goes to Mexico, with the gap being 68 points between the two of them, of Squeezy and Blizzard. And with results going that way, then it becomes a 2-horse race now with three races to go. As here comes Sean around the final corner then as we head towards the line. And it's yellow flag up to the line, which means they can't really overtake across the line. So Sean in 8th, Maze in 9th. Lighty here looks like he's going to take the final point of the US Grand Prix as he makes his way around the final corner. And there it is then, 10th place for Lighty. Plaster then making his way up the hill. Steph finishing a lap down, at least on Alan Kay. Blaster making his way towards the line. He's going to finish in P11. And Alan Kay making his way through 19 and up towards turn 20. He's going to finish 12th and the last on the lead lap. But with his 3rd race of the season and championship battle still very much alive, Squeezy wins here in Texas. A crucial win here for Squeezy. And more importantly, it keeps the championship battle alive. 68 points now separates Squeezy from Blizzard at the top of the table. It was a much needed win for Squeezy, but the pressure is on as the carnival heads to Mexico. Who's going to come out on top next time around? For now, it's Squeezy's day, and he's had a fantastic race. Fully deserved that win. So then, here are the official, unofficial results. Squeezy takes his third race win of the season. Lambo in second, out of the championship hunt now. Ollie in third, Siege in fourth, Poe in fifth, with Spike in sixth. Blizzard there in seventh place, with Sean in eighth, Maze in ninth, and Lighty in 10th. Plaster in 11th, Alan K the last of the lead laps in 12th place. Steph finishing 2 laps down on the leader. Rapid and Francis both not finishing the race. Francis retiring from the pit lane, and Rapid retiring out on track, then losing that front wheel when he tapped the wall. Well, the championship battle goes on to Mexico with 3 races to go. Well, I tell you what, it was a job done well for Squeezy, and of course the gap between them comes down to 68 points. And we'll work out what Blizzard and Squeezy need to do. But it is a 2-horse race now, confirmed. Unfortunately, there's no way for Lambo to win, but he can win best of the rest then as we head towards the final couple of races. The next race then, of course, is Mexico. If you haven't figured that already, I don't know what to say. But yes, on Thursday, Andy and I will be in the commentary box to see if Championship Battle will be wrapped up in Mexico or whether we'll take it to Brazil. Hopefully you can join us then, 8 PM GMT. Hopefully you will join us then. Well, we are going to go to Commentator's Corner. I don't think many people are going to be there, but do join me because we'll have all the driver reactions that we can have. And of course we can talk a little bit more about the race and figure out the championship standings in a more relaxed and laid back environment rather than a race going on and me trying to figure out points as we go. I think that works a little bit better. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that big red subscribe button if you are liking this content. Make sure you hit the notification bell every time so that you're notified every time the channel goes live. Well, that's it for this part of the stream. Commentator's Corner will be a separate stream, so I'll be starting that up in a couple of minutes. Stay on the channel, don't go anywhere.